You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
Hello. Welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sherry Berger.
And we are here at Snap Productions at the Ghostlight Theater, and we are talking to Christina Belle. She is a stage manager. Geoffrey Eggleston, he is an actor. And Daryl Hartshorn, he builds sets, designs sets, and does pretty much all the technical stuff around here. Why are we talking to them? Because they are doing American Psycho. Yes, you heard that right. They are doing American Psycho, and we're going to talk to them about it today at the theater.
The musical.
That's the musical. So thank you all for joining us very much. Thank you for taking a little bit of your Sunday time out to talk to us.
Yes, thank you.
We're glad to be here.
Very glad. So this is the premise of this play is about a serial killer. So give us some of the reasons that someone wants to go see a play about a serial killer.
Oh, you do a deep dive into this fellow's mind because during the play, while he is contemplating what he's going to do, he tells you, he says, "Oh, I'm gonna," and then all the people around him, of course, think he's just being an arrogant stockbroker or whatever he does. But you get into his mind. You get to see the inside of the serial killer. What's he really thinking? Because he'll tell you during the play.
And he's very funny. It's a very funny show. A lot of dark humor, heavily satirical. It's based on the movie with Christian Bale, which is also quite funny.
Yes. Now you are playing.
I'm the serial killer.
You are the serial killer.
Yeah, I was late today. I was doing some method acting.
That's right.
Slowed me down.
Excellent.
Oh boy.
Now, so this is such a crazy part. And especially as a musical, have you ever done anything remotely?
Yeah,
like
actually.
This?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I went to school for musical theater, and I had a professor my senior year when we were putting together like our audition packages. He was like, "You need to find a monologue for from a serial killer or something." And he called it. I didn't really find it. I found something else, but here we are 10 years later, and I got it. But I did Bloody Andrew Jackson, which was very similar. It's like an emo rock musical. There's a lot of blood. The same guy, Benjamin Walker, played both roles on Broadway.
Oh, did he really? Okay.
Yeah. So he's like my idol. Like anything he does, I'll pretty much chase after.
Cool.
This is a dream role for me. Actually, I've been like trying to find a place that's doing this since it came out.
Since it came out, yeah. That's actually really nice to hear. I always love to hear that when people are like, "This is my bucket list role." It's like, you definitely want to go see that person in that role because there's going to be a little extra mustard on that role.
Oh yeah, a little blood probably. More.
Yeah, true.
Ketchup on the roll. Yeah.
That's right.
And speaking of blood, we have their stage manager here. And
yes.
Tell us about the blood situation with the stage management.
We're going to keep some things a secret, but it's definitely, this is not for the faint of heart.
Fair.
When it comes to that.
Fair.
I'm pretty excited about it. I don't like horror, but things like that. But I loved the movie, and I will say that this was the one show I was like, if I can only stage manage one this season, this is it.
This is it.
So this is like, yeah.
Would you consider it a dark comedy?
Yes.
Yeah. It says so on the back of the play script.
That's actually, okay, I was going to say, because that's how it always hit me, but I never actually, it is actually considered a dark comedy.
There's definitely moments of horror.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually comedy and horror have a lot in common. They're all about building tension and an eventual release. And with humor, the release is a punchline or something unexpected, but in horror it's the same thing. The jump scare is essentially the same structure as like a setup punchline to a joke.
For sure.
So they really blend into one another seamlessly throughout the show, to the point where some of, I guess in my opinion, I'm a little biased, I guess, but some of the killing is very funny. Just the way he does it is so absurd and surreal that it almost, I think, it will make some people laugh.
The basis of a lot of humor is someone else getting hurt.
Yeah.
Slapstick, Dick Van Dyke falling over the sofa, all that kind of stuff.
Laurel and Hardy, Three Stooges.
And I've often said, if a play makes you laugh and cry, it's done its job. In this case, it'll make you laugh and scream, which I think is appropriate.
Hey, that's fun, and we're approaching the right time of year for it.
Yeah.
Halloween is fast approaching, and I think it's pretty good timing.
I think it'll also make you think, as you get into the mind of Patrick Bateman, it's going to make you think about just people's psychology, their own psychosis. We all walk around with so much going on in our brains that people don't even know, but Patrick shares everything going on in his brain. So
yeah, it's interesting to see how his perception of the world, and then I think as an audience, you're going to hear him talk about his perception, and then you're going to actually see him living his life, and the juxtaposition of how he views things and what's actually happening to him. I think is kind of revealing of, I think for a lot of us, to a greater or lesser extent, can feel removed or distant or disconnected from the world around us, and oftentimes it is or isn't the case. But it's he is crazy. He's a serial killer, but
sure.
But he is very, at least in my opinion, because I have to, empathize with the guy. It's still very human and going through a similar experience to a lot of people.
I think that's really fascinating because he's sort of, essentially his internal dialogue is sort of on the outside.
Yeah.
He's always explaining to you how he's feeling and how he perceives things. But then you get to juxtapose it with how things actually are.
Yeah.
And the audience gets to go, oh, look at this guy. And they already know you're a crazy person, but I mean, just how you're perceiving the world. I think that's fascinating.
He'll come up and shake somebody's hand with a smile. Hi, how are you? I'd like to stab you. Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many people are there? How many people are there like that in the world now? Walking by you in the mall, I'm like, oh.
Fair enough.
Do we know why that Patrick wants to kill people? Do we ever find out why?
Do they get into that part of it?
I mean, it's, I guess, not so much... I don't know that it's that satisfying. It's just that he feels it's his distance from the world, and he feels so removed from society because he's doing all the things he's supposed to do. He's making money. He's he's having sex. He's living the life, this opulent life in this nice apartment, but he still hates it. He hates himself. He hates everyone around him. So it's you're seeing why, and I guess through in that way, and the way it manifests is, I guess, a lot of people would maybe get depressed or start drinking or something, but he starts killing, so
Sure.
So in a way, I guess it's kind of a metaphor for that kind of removal in a capitalist society where we value money and things, and he's just so fed up with it because he has all the money and he has all the things, and he's still miserable, still deeply unhappy.
Still unhappy.
Yeah. He takes his first killing as kind of an opportunistic thing, finds out he kind of likes that, and why can't he do that to all the people that he hates? Not that he tells them he hates them. Oh no, they're friends, colleagues, whatever. Right. Smile.
He keeps up that outer appearance,
and then he lets it go and goes, okay, you're done. Ooh, creepy.
And I think it's interesting how even as what Geoffrey said, he's just not happy, although he's achieved the American dream in so many ways. And then on top of that, he's trying to find that happiness, and it just continues to elude him in everything, even in the killings.
Because he gets that one part of it. Because for somebody like him, he's sort of almost that OCD discipline that he has.
Definitely.
That part of it is sort of second nature to him. He's going to succeed in that way no matter what. But it's this whole other part that he's completely missed out on. Yeah,
the closest he gets to feeling normal is in the moment of and after the kill. That brief moment is when he feels I guess his void is filled. He feels full. It's like drugs. It's like addiction.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you could very easily make that argument about this too.
He's an addict.
Your first hit is often opportunistic, kind of random, and as you get hooked, you're chasing the dragon, and that's what he does. And so his kills get bigger and crazier, and he starts to get sloppy. So it's this. Very easily you could say it's an addiction story too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome.
Yikes.
I love this. Okay.
Let's talk about some of the music.
Yes, actually. Now, was the music specifically written for this, or do we have outside music pieces that are in here as well, or is it all...
Well, it was written by Duncan Sheik, who wrote Spring Awakening.
Okay.
And then there are some outside like 80s songs like
Oh, cool.
True Faith and Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Don't
excellent.
You Want Me? I think I'm missing.
In the Air Tonight.
In the Air Tonight.
In the Air
Yeah,
Tonight.
but there are these really cool,
That's a good one.
really cool remixes of the songs. So you're not hearing them like
Just
like you
straight
hear them
up.
on the track. Yeah, it's really cool how they use them to kind of set the tone throughout the story.
That's really
Yeah.
neat.
There's a lot of storytelling in the original music for this as well
Yeah.
that Duncan Sheik wrote. So he's telling you a story. You want to listen to it, hear the words.
Very cool.
1980s songs. Yeah.
Yeah. In the Air Tonight sounds absolutely perfect
Oh,
for this
yes.
show.
Oh,
Good
it's-
Lord.
It's the arrangement is really great. That's one of the songs I don't sing, and I wish I got to.
Kind of haunting.
Yeah.
Now what? So I think horror might in live theater might be harder to pull off than comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, jump scares are easy,
Sure.
but I think horror it might be hard. I don't know what I mean. Do you guys have any kind of specific approaches that you're doing, or specific ideas that you're going for, or is
Yeah.
it all about just sort of creating a mood?
Well, I guess as an actor, I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm just trying to portray
Sure.
the emotions in a believable way, right? And I
Yeah.
think that no matter the story you're telling, no matter the setting being real or unreal or surreal, I think it's kind of goes back to what I was saying about just kind of trying to convey an honest human experience.
Yeah.
And I think if you do that, then you're telling a good story. And generally, I like to believe that if things are good, people will come and people
Yeah.
will respond to them.
sure.
So I guess as an actor, I'm not really approaching it any differently than I would any other role. Just trying to be real and believable.
Understandable. As usual, it always comes down to just truth and honesty.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So what do you think prepared you for this role?
Oh,
Killings.
yeah, killing.
Step back away from him.
Well, I mean, I'll be. I mean, very honest. I've wanted to do it forever, but
It's in the bucket list.
Yeah.
physically, I don't think I could have pulled it off until recently. I gained over the past couple years. I went through a body transformation. I gained about 40 pounds and started to actually look a little more like Patrick Bateman. So
That's
you know,
cool.
I think because I'm going to be in like. I don't know, spoiler my underwear for a little bit of this. So there is that aspect of physical preparation, and I think just having good teachers and going to a good school and all that stuff. All the roles I've played some kind of villainous anti-hero type people before.
For
so,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, let's give this a second.
It's okay. I mean,
Well,
I think
but this is copyrighted music, and
Oh.
we don't want to
yeah.
get yanked
I was gonna
from
say, I can lower
any
it 3 out of
platform
3 mics.
because we're playing copyrighted music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Copyright.
they're everybody's.
Oh yeah, they just
really
got robots
sensitive
that'll
about it.
track you down.
Yeah, exactly. They got.
They take
got-
it very serious.
Mhm.
Yeah, they
Everybody
do.
wants that penny that
Yeah.
every single
Yeah.
one
YouTube's
is.
really bad with it.
Thank you. I'm so sorry about that.
Thank you.
I hope we're not interfering with their rehearsal.
No, they just didn't realize we were doing this in here. They don't need it that loud. They're doing choreography.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So and they like it loud when they're doing choreography.
All right, so without any spoilers, maybe, because you said you were going to keep some secrets. Any special sort of considerations, things that you're doing for this show that you maybe haven't done before as a stage manager?
I will say the amount of blood will be
The amount?
different. I
I don't help you clean that up.
Oh, well, there's a whole scene where they get to clean it up. So hopefully,
This was written with the stage manager in
Yes.
mind.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, good.
because
Okay.
I'm going to have some words if at the end of every show I'm here for the extra 2 hours cleaning. No, plus, you know what? We really, the cast is great anyways. I'll say that I'm not even feeling stressed that I'm going to have a lot to do. They're taking a lot of direction very easily, smoothly. They're excited to do this. Everybody that's part of this is truly excited to be here and chipping in, jumping in, and wanting to. I mean, this is the first time it's been done anywhere in this area.
I'm gonna
I
say,
think
is
it's like
this-
5 or 6 states.
Oh, really?
Easy, I think is what.
Because I thought
we
I heard it was the
discussed.
first time in Omaha, but it's
Definitely the first time in
Mm-hmm.
Omaha.
Oh wow, okay.
So I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I think it's
Sort of
quite a
first time
big
for the
area
region,
and like a
essentially.
Midwest almost
Wow.
bigger area, and so every single person here is so 100% committed to make this just talked about across
Sure.
the board.
Sure.
So, but yeah, so some of, I guess the big thing is there's a lot of newer people. Geoffrey is new to the area. He's only been here now. He came
Like
in
maybe 2 months.
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
2
really?
weeks.
You've only been here about
Yeah, yeah.
no kidding.
Living in Omaha, and he came in
Wow.
and auditioned for us, and we were like,
Nice.
fantastic. So yeah, so Geoffrey's new to us here at Ghostlight Theater. So a lot of new faces, a lot of people. Connor, who plays Geoffrey's brother,
Okay.
he plays Sean Bateman.
We just talked to him at Mills Masters.
Such a doll.
Yes,
yes.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that was his first show. So he's another new face
Yeah.
to local theater. So it's really exciting to see some great new faces.
Yeah.
So where'd you come to from to Omaha?
Well, I did things a little bit backwards. I moved here from Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I
But
say
I-
most people are going to Austin.
It wasn't for me. I won't get into the nitty gritty of it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I grew up in Sioux Falls though, so my family's close to here.
Oh, okay,
my
nice.
brother lives in Omaha, so I came and lived with him.
Cool.
Basically, because I didn't know where else to go. I wanted to leave Texas, and so I was like, well, there's a room there, and then they were doing my dream show, and I 2 weeks into my being here was the audition. I was like, oh, this is fate. I'm
Oh,
supposed
wow.
to be in Omaha.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
And there were some bodies in Austin. You know.
Yeah.
You're a
There's a
fresh
whole
start.
he had to leave that area.
They're finding bodies in the river down there. It's not even a joke. They really do think there's a serial killer in Austin.
Oh no way.
Yeah. They
Oh,
keep
wow.
finding bodies in the river. It's
To answer one of your questions, though,
terrible.
Joey and I have done Sweeney Todd and Carrie.
Oh yeah.
So
oh yes.
so we're kind of familiar with blood and how much work it is to clean up.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think some of the surprises, I've worked with Dale. I've been very lucky to work with Dale for this
Yeah.
last season. And even prior to that, we had done a show at Bellevue Little Theater. And Dale always brings things to the set that just truly kick it up that notch. And really, a lot of people, they're surprised. They're like, in our space, they can't believe how much goes into
They didn't
that.
expect. Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
like you are in that time zone. You are in that setting.
Now, Joey said that we were going to have to put up a warning that the front row was a splash zone, but I reminded her there would be 10 people in the front row, and we don't really want the dry cleaning bill.
I think ponchos.
So
We
we'll-
just ponchos,
we'll-
get
like
the
Gallagher.
punches.
Yeah, so we'll-
exactly like Gallagher.
we'll try not to get the front row.
I actually am looking forward to it. I have family. I want to sit in the front row just in case.
Wear those little see-through raincoats like you did.
That's what they did when I saw Evil Dead the musical. The first
Yes.
4 rows, they got ponchos. At
Yes,
those seats.
yes, they had a splash zone. Actually, when I saw it, they did the same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, it's not ruled out yet, but I'm like, oh boy, that's going to be interesting.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, people that come and see this will love this kind of thing anyway. I would love this. This would be so much fun.
So, what productions have you done in the past then?
Yeah.
Oh, some highlights, I guess. Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson. That's
Sure.
like my other dream role. I actually I haven't done a musical in like 8 years, so this like brought me out of retirement in a sense.
Oh, wow.
I was Captain Hook in Peter Pan.
Cool.
I've been Ichabod Crane. I used to work at a children's theater, so I got to do like a lot of plays where I'd be like 3 or 4 people, doing quick
Yeah.
change kind of stuff.
That's always fun, though.
Like Gingerbread Man, I was like a Yeti, a fox, and a toy soldier, and I think one other guy. I don't know. So that kind of stuff, like really character-driven stuff, really silly stuff, is really what I like to do mostly.
Yeah,
That's
you'll
really
wear no
fun.
fur in this one. You get to get all
opposite.
dressed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will look like the sharpest guy in the world.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, he's always got the nice suits and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, that whole
When
80s
when he's not undressed.
power suits.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
and yes, there's a nice local company that's providing some suits and tuxes and things, and
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're actually Gentleman's Choice is they're doing us like they are going above and beyond just to make sure all the men look spot on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I just cut all my hair off. I had hair halfway down my back.
Did you really?
Yeah, I had long hair for 10 years too, and I would always tell people, I'm not cutting my hair for this part, man. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to figure out a way to do it.
You.
But here, I was like, no, I've got to look it. You know, I can't.
I did that a decade ago. I had hair down in my butt.
He kept it.
And I went to audition for Music Man, and the director came up to me and kind of went, "So what about all this?" I said, "It can go," and he's like, "Okay," and he's like, "Well, you're Harold Hill. Go to the barber."
Go to the barber. Okay.
Hey, man, I'd do that for Harold Hill.
Yeah, so I was like, "Okay, I guess I'm going to the barber." Yeah, sometimes hair removal is
hair can be a thing.
It can be a little traumatic.
It's for guys, it's not usually horrible, but for gals, that's a pretty tough deal.
Yeah.
I just feel kind of off balance. Like I'm like walking around. I don't have this counterweight on me anymore. You know?
I asked him if he was like running his hand because through his
100%.
hair, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
Huge difference. Like it's amazing because you
Yeah.
see a difference. You almost see more of Patrick Bateman.
Oh, I mean,
Like,
I feel
right?
more. It's the same thing as like when you finally get your costume and you're like, oh, this is what this guy wears. Like now I can understand how he moves to an even greater extent because the limits that are placed on you by clothing. And it's the same thing with hair. You know, it's a different feeling. Like I'm just naturally my head is going to be a little lighter on my body, so that's going to affect, even at a micro level, just everything I do.
Mm-hmm. It is. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I just got 5 inches off.
Nice.
I know.
It
was a lot.
But it's a good week to do it. It's hot here.
Right.
So.
Oh, I did a couple summers in Texas with the long hair, and that almost got me. But I was like, no, you have to have a reason. You have a reason to do it.
That's
picked a good time of year.
That's a
to do it,
trooper
at
to
least.
keep that long hair like that in Texas, man.
It gives you shade for the back of your neck so you don't get sunburned.
That's true. And I'm very pale. You're listening to this, but I'm very pale.
Join the club.
So did you study theater in Texas?
No, not. I went to Millikan University in Illinois. It's about 3 hours south of Chicago.
Millikan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Millikan, yeah. I got a BFA in musical theater, and then I had a few jobs after that. I worked at. I was a singer at Dollywood. I did the Texas Shakespeare Festival, and I worked at a children's theater in Little Rock for a couple of years.
Okay, that was a children's theater.
And then I moved to LA, and I do stand-up comedy now. It's like kind of my bread and butter. I do musical comedy with a guitar, and I sing original songs.
And it's fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
We went to
she's
see
seen it, yeah.
the show a couple weeks ago, and it was hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's kind of been my life for like the past 8 years, and like I said, I've been looking for this part, and I was like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But you don't look old enough to do all that.
I mean, that's very flattering. It makes me feel.
Dale and I have shirts older than you.
I absolutely do.
Fair enough.
Awesome. Well, that's great. And welcome to Nebraska.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you so much.
Nebraska.
I really like it here. Omaha is so cool.
It's great, right?
It's unexpected.
I temper my expectations, but it's really blown me away. The comedy scene here is really incredible. There's this place called The Backline that I've done some shows at, and they rule, man. I
They're
love
nice
that place.
people.
Yeah.
Nice folks down
And
there.
I got to do the Funny Bone in town, and the Funny Bone is like a chain, so I did the Des Moines and the Kansas City Funny Bone in the same weekend. So,
Okay.
I mean, there's plenty of work here as a stand-up, which is amazing. And when you're in the Midwest, you draw like a 4-hour circle around whatever city you're in, and there's so many places you can go and show your stuff to more people and get new perspectives. And Texas was very isolated. You can drive 9 hours and still be in Texas.
I know, that's the thing.
And California was the same way.
Same.
LA was very isolated.
Yes.
And so coming back to the Midwest
Heard that.
is very refreshing because I can get in front of different kinds of people and, like I said, test my stuff out and see, do people in Iowa think this is funny? Like the same way that people in Texas do. And so it's actually, I think, helping me be even more well-rounded.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
And if you haven't been by Blackstone with
Big
the
canvas.
big canvas people.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Nice
nice,
people.
very nice folks as well, and they do consistently do comedy stuff all the time over there, and we know a lot of them. But yeah, a lot of nice folks here.
Yeah.
Between here and Lincoln, it's like, oh my God.
I was just reading about
Who knew?
how many theaters there are. It blew my mind. Like in
Yeah.
Austin, 1 million people there, and there wasn't as much, certainly not as much overlap between the arts. I feel like here there are people. It's very easy to kind of, and Little Rock was this way too, to go from improv to comedy to theater. there are a lot more people who kind of have, their feet on, either side of the line.
Okay.
So it's been, I think, good and easier to kind of network and find a community here than other places.
I agree. I think you're right. I found the same thing as well, and it's one of the big reasons why we actually started this podcast, because there was so much going on, and of course, trying to advertise and do anything anymore is just ridiculous.
It's expensive.
It's so expensive. So it's like, well, let's just do this, and the more we got into it, it's like,
we could keep
and
going.
there's this theater, and there's this, and there's this organization, and there's and it's just really blown us away. And now we got the return of Snap, which you guys
And
are
Shelter Belt.
Snap,
and
Shelter
Belt
Belt.
is back, and it's just
And they
like,
just opened their show.
yes,
Yeah.
they did. Good for them, and it's just, and it's so nice to see, and especially places like Snap who will do an American Psycho
Yeah,
show.
it's not for everybody.
No, it's not. It's not. Just like Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's not for
Not for
everybody.
everybody.
But it is for a lot of folks, and a lot of folks are going to be really happy that you guys are doing this. I'm one of them.
Our whole season this year is
Macabre.
horror, macabre.
Oh.
I did notice that. Yes, you guys
Yes.
kind of got a theme going this year.
Yes, we do, very much so. If you want to see blood, gore, intense situations, and some stuff that puts you on the edge of your seat, this is the place this year.
That's awesome. That's
Okay.
awesome.
And they're shows that are not done at most
Yeah,
theaters.
you're not going to see these, over at the Playhouse or whatever, which is good. That's what you want.
Yep.
You want that variety,
Yep.
and you want all these places doing all these different things.
Yeah, because I can only see Carousel so many times, man.
And that's the thing. And that's why I like that we have such sort of almost a
Right.
diversity of theaters in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of choosing their niche and their thing, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can go to a different show pretty much every weekend throughout the year, and then that's just theater. And then, like you said, the live entertainment, both the comedies and the
Bands.
live bands and things. Yeah, Omaha's got a lot.
Music, it's really nice. And man, certainly happy to have you,
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Oh, thank
Welcome.
you. Yeah, I feel very
Yes,
welcome
all
here.
of you.
Welcome, dude.
Let's talk about the industry night that's on September 23rd.
Yes, you guys
too.
have the
Let's be sure to
industry
talk
night
about
here, which
that.
is
We
really neat.
we do that for a couple of reasons, but the biggest reason is there are a lot of people who are in theater, and their shows are Friday, Saturday, Sunday like ours.
Yeah.
If they happen to overlap, it's tough. Maybe you can come to our opening weekend or the end, or maybe not at all.
You never get to see your friends, man.
And how many people work in hospitality?
Yes.
If you're a cook or a waiter or a maitre d' or whatever, you're busy Friday night, Saturday night.
Yeah, that's your busy
sometimes
time.
Sunday as well. Monday is usually kind of dead for those businesses, and they can come to our show.
Yeah.
I think the price is a little cheaper if I remember.
Is it pay what you can?
It's a pay what you
It's a
can.
pay what you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your first time in this space. What do you think about this space? Because it's a newer space for them.
Sure.
And it's definitely a different and unique space. I like it a lot. I mean, it's very sort of in your face. I mean,
Yeah.
you're like right up in the show.
I
Here.
love that.
Yeah.
When I walked in, I was like, oh, this is a perfect place to do something like this.
Yeah.
Because so much of the show is I'm just talking directly to the audience, and
Yes.
as a stand-up as well, like I'm used to like looking people in the
True.
eye, and I want to be in their face. So like the more on top, you can be on the audience, especially for something like this. It's so visceral.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect. I think it's the perfect space for it.
Yeah,
Right
the
up
the
in there.
farthest you can be from the front of the stage is about 21 feet, something like that.
Nice for this. Go ahead.
One of the things, you haven't been in to see it yet, but we did build up the stage for this.
Ooh.
Because, sometimes we have levels, which really helps in a small theater where 2 or 3 rows are on the floor. So
Oh,
people have
sure.
to kind of look past it. Those levels help. This is one level, so we just popped the stage up about 1.5 feet so that, everybody can see better. Little nicer view,
Yeah.
and it's a nice big flat stage for everybody to dance on and stuff. There aren't too many obstructions like there are in some of our shows with stairs and
Different levels.
platforms where they have to be really conscious of where they're dancing. This is more open.
Well, all right, guys. Christina Belle, Geoffrey Eggleston, and Dale Hartshorn. Thank you guys
Yes,
so
thank you.
so much for talking to us today about American Psycho.
Break all the legs.
Yes.
I
and
literally
don't
will
hurt
be
people.
breaking legs. Yeah.
And some.
For real.
Yes, he will be.
And thanks for talking to us, and welcome Do aloha, Geoffrey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
American Psycho the Musical opens Friday, September 20th and runs until September 29th at Snap at Ghost Light Theater. Industry Night is Pay What You Can on Monday, September 23rd. Get your tickets at www.snapproductions.com.
Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.